we put together a list of 10 RV living hacks and mods for newbies. You're going to want to stick around and see all 10 of these because each one of these is less than $25 and they can make a big difference in your RV living experience.
I have a bonus at the end, so you want to stick around for that too.
All right, so let's get started. Right off the bat, we're going to start with an inline water meter. Now, I use inline water meters at both of my freshwater tank connection for my city water and my black tank flush valve because I want to know how much water I'm putting in, whether I am filling my fresh tank because we're going to be dry camping somewhere and we need a full tank, or for the black tank I use it because when I'm flushing, filling and flushing that tank, I want to know how much water I'm putting into that black tank before I pull the handle, because you want it at least 2/3 of the way full before you pull the handle and you get that nice rush of water.
Don't forget to set an alarm. Just because you have the meter running, you still might get distracted. So set an alarm that's going to go off, and you'll learn how many gallons go in at a time. So don't forget that.
Always set an alarm. And I did do a RV black tank video a while back. I'll put a link in right up there. I talk about that inline water meter and how I use it for filling and flushing my tanks. So everything we're talking about today is going to be in the description below. There will be a link to Amazon. We are Amazon affiliates. We get a small commission off of any purchase that you make. It's a way that you can help support our channel. It will not cost you a single penny more.
Right.
We just get a little bit of the commission. Also, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, ring the little notification bell. That way you get notified every time we upload new content. These are in no particular order, but next, since we're already kind of talking about water, let's talk about quick connects. I use quick connects on all my water lines at just about every single connection that I make. The only connection I make that doesn't have a quick connect is the one where I'm connecting my Y to the spigot. From there on, everything's connected to a quick connect, and part of the reason I like it is when I'm coiling my hoses up and getting ready to store them, I can just put the male and female ends together, and then anything that might be left in the hose stays in the hose until I get to my next location.
So the next item we have has actually saved us on a couple of different occasions, and that is a water alarm. You can buy them one at a time for under our $25. I've seen them 3 for $40, however many you think you need. This isn't a first alert. There's many different brands out there, so you can get whichever one you like, but highly recommend these. One time this went off because the S-trap underneath our kitchen sink got bumped while we were traveling, and we happened to stop to use the restroom because we were way out in the middle of nowhere and the alarm is going off. So we were able to put that back together and it saved us. We've also put these up by our water heater where all of those jungles of hoses come together because we have had drips in there also. So they're definitely, you need a water meter to, a water alarm to know if you have a drip.
Right.
At all faucets. We put them in the bathroom, the kitchen, and in the main area where all the water comes in.
Right. It's very key, especially probably the biggest one is in the underbelly where your water comes in behind the wet bag, because that's behind a panel. And if you get a leak back there,
you'll never know.
You won't know until enough water has accumulated underneath the trailer that it starts dripping out underneath your underbelly coating, which means that it's already saturated your insulation. And now that the insulation's full of water, it's moving on to where it just falls out. Right.
We had that problem in our Keystone. So that's when we got this.
Yep.
So while we're on the water line here, the squeegee. We have a squeegee that we put in the bathroom because I hate water spots. So if you take that squeegee and you clean off your glass doors every time you're done showering, it makes it so much easier to clean that glass, and you don't have all of those water spots, especially if you don't have a water softener and you may be in a place where there's hard water. We all know how hard water leaves terrible water spots. Just take that squeegee and clean that glass right off. It takes just a couple of seconds and you don't have to even worry about it.
All right, so this one's a little weird, right? You're looking at it, you're like,
what is that?
What is that thing? All right, so what this is this is made out of silicone, so it's very heat resistant. It has this little rib on it right here, and what it does is you set this down in that crack area between where your countertop meets your stove and your oven top, and it keeps food, grease, or anything from falling down in between the stove and your counter or your cabinets.
Right.
And Alice and I decided to look for this because Gordon was doing dishes one day, and with the dish sponge in his hand, he reached over to the stove to grab the frying pan off of the stove, and
what happened?
I squeezed the sponge as I was grabbing it, and water went down between. So
it's like, okay, I'm on Amazon. I'm looking to see what I can find now, and this is what I got. And it comes in multiple colors.
Right.
So I got white because white matches our countertops. It comes in black and whatever other colors that you can find out there. I think it was like $12. And you cut it to meet to whatever length that you need it to be. So I just cut off the end of it there, probably cut off 2 inches, and it goes just right underneath the grate there, that your burners, and it just sits there and it doesn't come off, and it works really well. All right, so this next one is a multi thing. They all kind of go together, okay? So the first one is this grippy shelf paper liner. So yes, I use it in the cabinets, but I put it in the refrigerator because, as we all know, when you're driving down the road, things move. So I put this on the shelves in the refrigerator to make sure that whatever's in my refrigerator doesn't move. Little secret is I got double-sided tape, and I taped down the corners to keep it from shifting all the time too. Whenever you put something in there or you take it out or whatever, you know, things tend to move. So I just got, this was in the craft section. I got this at Walmart in the craft section. You can get it anywhere. It's just double-sided tape, and I stuck it to this, and then I stuck it onto the shelf in the refrigerator. So this has been a lifesaver.
All right, next.
The next thing is these wonderful containers here that we put water and soda, and we don't drink soda, but bubbly water. You can put anything in here. I've put my vegetables in here, all kinds of stuff.
Does a great job holding beer cans.
Beer cans, yes. And as you can see on this side here, I have our thermometer, so we know what the temperature is in the refrigerator and the freezer, and it's just a good place to stick it. It doesn't take up any room. It doesn't affect putting anything into the container. And then this goes on a magnet. It's on a magnet, and it sticks on the outside of the refrigerator.
Ah, yes. Okay, so, and then there's this, right? So this is the floor vent for your furnace. Now, we don't like the ones that came with our trailer. They're plastic, and in some cases they're placed in an area that is where you're gonna step. Like
right.
One is in the bathroom between the two sinks, one is in the kitchen by the stove, and the plastic is not really strong. So when you step on it, you can kind of feel it sag. So these are a heavy duty metal that go right in. There's 2 screws to take the plastic ones out. This dropped right in place. And then the bonus that we also went after was this has a switch that you flip, and it opens the louver vents or closes them off. So we wanted that because during the summer, when we're running our air conditioners, we don't need this space open and allow heat to come up and in through these into the room. But also, if you drop anything, instead of it going down into the furnace ducting, it goes down inside of here and gets caught on the louver, and then you can just lift this right out of the floor, tip it over, and empty it, wash it, clean it, whatever.
Dog fur, my hair, food in the kitchen because it's right at the counter.
Right.
There's many different things that can fall into those tracks, and instead of always having to clean them out because you get food or whatever in there, this is going to be a lot easier to clean. We did go to Lowe's and we got these at Lowe's. Yes, you can find them on Amazon also, but I like to touch things and know what it is before I purchase it, so I chose to go to Lowe's instead.
Yeah, and these ones at Lowe's specifically on the packaging said heavy duty.
Yes.
Which they're very thick and very sturdy. You can stand on them and you're not going to have any issues. The ones we were finding on Amazon didn't clearly say heavy duty.
Right.
So we felt it was a good option to go to Lowe's and buy these at Lowe's instead.
Yeah. Last item that we want to show you that we have really used a lot is this magnetic board that you can write on. It's very flexible. You could cut it in half if you don't want the full thing. It has some nice fluorescent pins. I like that. That's my doing. But anytime that you have an idea, we would just write it down. Or if there's a honey to do thing that something needs to be fixed, we just write it down. And then once it gets fixed, then you can just take it off. And it's just so easy to just keep adding to it, taking it off. And Gordon's got his list here. He's got his RV maintenance here. And then we have our video ideas and all kinds of fun stuff. Anything that you want to use it for. So our bonus one, and I'm sure that everybody already knows what these are. They know how to use them, and they probably have them either in their RV or in their house or anywhere else because they are used everywhere. Yep, you guessed it. Command strips. We have command strips everywhere. We have a key holder that is by command. We have our pictures around the place here are hung up by command. Gordon's hats are hung on a command. We will use this Velcro command strip to hang our water alarm when we get that put into it. We have 3 alarms already put in place, and they use command strips. Command strip everything. The great thing about command strips is that if you want to move it or you don't want it hanging up in there, you do not ruin your wall when you get ready to remove it. So they're very kind to your RV.